Hi everyone, my name is Anabnul and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm from Kenya. Kenya is a very small country in Africa, actually one of the smallest countries in East Africa, and we are famous for people like Barack Obama, Lupita Nyong'o. There are very many famous Kenyans in the States and other parts of the world. I'm very new to this, that is why you can see that a lot of the video may not be clear, but I hope whatever content that I'm going to share, it is going to be accepted well by you. I'm a visual artist. I started doing art as a child of 12 years. I used to draw and paint a lot. I used to prefer being given art materials as presents. I used to prefer, whenever I did well in school, I used to prefer that I was given colored pencils, crayons, plasticine, just like any other child. But I did not take it very seriously until I was 12. The first thing that I started, I was recognized for drawing was actually the portrait of Jesus. I did that when I was in Kenya. We call our educational system is based around standards. So I did that in standard 6, and there was an art competition. The teacher came and said that he wanted people to draw the portrait of Jesus for the CRE class, the Christian Religious Education class. So being me, I just took a paper and a pencil and I just drew. I did not think very much about it. I did not know if I was good, but I was bad, but I knew that my hand was very good in terms of proportion and in terms of getting things on paper and in terms of just using the whole paper. I was the kind of child that you give me a paper, I feel it. I don't leave the paper in a blank way or something. You can see that a drawing is not well fitted in terms of proportion but I never knew anything about principles of fine art, anything about balance, anything about unity, anything about harmony. I did not know anything about that. So the results came in and I came first, and I remember my portrait got hung in the school class, in the classroom beside the chalkboard for people to see it, and I was very happy about that. But I did not take it as something that will drive me towards a career in art. Fast forward, in the year 2001, 2002, I finished my primary school education. The fine art, the art studies education or the art class was abolished by the government at the time. So the only way you could continue pursuing art is for you to practice on yourself at home, or for you to go to a school that offered art. For the Form 1, I did not go to any school that offered art, so I had to just keep drawing. But I noticed that my style was kind of changing from the reality kind of style, realism, to the kind of cartoon and tracing and everything. A lot of the fact that I was very good in proportion, I got that from a lot of tracing. I used to be the class tracer. I used to trace maps. I used to trace everything that we were given an assignment on. People used to bring their books. I used to trace them until I could draw them. That year in 2003, I continued drawing cartoon-like images. I was into fashion. I used to design like any other child. I used to design clothes that I wanted to wear, but I'm not very fashionable, as you can see. Fast forward in 2004, I got a chance to go into another high school that offered art. Now that is where I saw that I can take this thing and do it professionally, and became serious about it. I started concentrating in class. The teacher liked me. We were not a lot of children, so she had time to deal with each and every one of us. So she encouraged me to enter into various competitions, high school competitions, especially in our city, Nairobi, we used to have a major high school competition that we used to participate, both boys and girls. So I used to do a lot of art and just put it in there. But I used to like attending the art contests, at least the last day to the judgment or something. So I noticed that I was not winning anything. One day I asked my teacher if I could go, and I could go to that art competition, that art show that we had entered, the whole class, the last day or the day for the judgment, so that I could know what I was doing wrong, because I was used to winning a lot of competitions, and now I had met a challenge that I could not win anything. So that day we went there and I saw people who were really good, people that were even in years below me in terms of high school. They were very, very good in terms of proportion, in terms of balance, in terms of unity, in terms of all the principles of art and design. People were really good. So there was this particular, and I used to be interested mainly in those artists that were female, because art in Kenya is known for, a lot of artists in Kenyan, a lot of Kenyan artists are men. So I never used to concentrate on them, because I knew that if I could concentrate on whatever I was being taught in terms of art principles, in terms of the commandments of art, like what you should not do, because there was this one commandment I really liked. It was, our teacher always said, never draw or paint anything in black, with black. And another one, she used to say, never draw anything you do not like. Any image you don't like in terms of observational art, don't do it. So there was this particular lady who won the competition. She was into automobile art. She never used to draw anything figurative. I did not see a single person in her cars. I did not see a single person in her cityscapes, landscapes. She used to use biro and pen and ink. So I kind of got into that pen and ink trend, the pen and ink thing. I got into it until I was like finishing high school. And I remember the next year I submitted something of the sort. I drew a couple of two Maasai people, Morans. They are these Maasai warriors in our country, because Maasai are very famous in our country. I submitted that one piece and I won second place. And I submitted it in terms of, I changed my technique. I was trying to be unique. I did it in pointillism, that is dot technique. And then my teacher, the minute she saw the drawing coming up, the way it is just from the sketch form and from the way I was shading it, tinting it, using the dots, she knew that I had something. And she told me that day, I remember it was in 2005, she told me that it would be very unfortunate if I did not do art professionally. Now fast forward, I finished the O-level examinations and everything, and I wanted to be a nurse first. I never, because art is a dangerous person in our country, in our culture, in the way we are brought up. Art is a very dangerous place. But somehow, I think it was the will of God, or somehow I could not get into the nursing vocation, due to the fact that in our country at that particular time they used to want students who are very good in sciences, and they used to be very strict in terms of biological sciences and chemical sciences, that is biology and chemistry. So if you did not attain a grade of C plus and above, they did not want you unless you went and bridged your course. And I was not ready for that. Bridging could take another year, and I was not ready for that. And I already spent an year at home so that I could raise the school fees. So I got into, after a much convincing, I was told by my father, what else can you do? I say, I like drawing. So he said, you want to draw as a living? You think that is a marketable course? You think that is it will give you security? Because that is a very dangerous thing you want to do. But after a lot of convincing, even my mother convinced him, because I was always drawing each and every single day, and I was always improving, and I was very much into portraits. I used to be a very good portrait artist, but I had not gotten into the whole oil and on canvas thing. I just used to do pen and ink biro drawings. I wish I had some of my old drawings. So fast forward, I by then I attended a very prestigious school. In our country it is prestigious because it is the only school of fine art in East and Central Africa that is very well known for producing very good artists, and as usual 75% of them were men. The 25%, some of them used to do a lot of interior design, fashion, soft furnishing, fabric decor. I was the only female in the drawing and painting class. So I completed that in 2010. I looked for work. I used to work for schools. I used to draw school whatever, teaching aids, school-based, anything that can be used in school, an illustration for making, especially the schools for kindergarten, early childhood, those the kind of things. They used to commission me when I was still in school. So that helped my father in terms of the fare, because I used to live at home, and I was very into whatever I was doing. Now, fast forward, I got to change my style in the year 2013 due to the fact that I came to be more into my religion, because I was born Muslim, but I never used to know that it was not allowed to do figurative art. So because of that, I had to change my style. So I took off from art from 2014, 2015. I tried doing landscape because I was not strong in terms of landscape. So I had to go back into I had to redefine what non-figurative art was to me. And that meant something that does not have a soul, something like still lifes, something like landscapes, seascapes, oceanscapes, just all the inanimate things that you could think of, things that I did not like, but I had to do it because I had chosen the path of being more religious and more into my particular religion and everything. So fast forward, like in 2016, I got back into serious drawing. I did my first drawing. I posted it on Facebook. It was well received. I did a second one, and then someone advised me if I wanted to make it in the art world and make it on Facebook, I had to open a separate Facebook account that was mainly for my drawings and my artwork. So I did that on October 2016, and I continued drawing in 2017, but I only became very serious about making art because I work a 9-to-5 job, so I cannot do this each and every single day like all the other artists. And number two, the fact that I am Muslim and I'm feminine, I have to be very good at whatever I'm doing. I tend to be very technical in terms of my drawings and my artwork and my paintings and everything. I like everything to be proportional, in harmony. Like whenever I'm painting, I'm looking at whatever I was taught for all those 10 plus years that I've been going through art studies, art school and everything. I just don't produce things because of the fact that I can draw. I like drawing things that whenever someone will look at them, they will like them in terms of their aesthetically, and number two, they will like my main aim was to produce any form of artwork, whether it is a landscape or a still life or a cubism piece, to make people remember, have a sense of the past. That is why I choose my subject very carefully. So basically I have been facing since I changed my style, because in our country portraits are very common and people like them. Since I changed my style, I've sold only one painting so far, but I've not been discouraged, because I know that I'm being true to my religion, I'm being true to myself, and I'm being true to whatever I want to do, because I've always liked doing technical kind of art that something that you see that some work has gone into it, some hours and a little bit of mastering the skill and becoming fine. I hope when you get to see my artwork, you'll think of it like that. And very recently I did a still life, and I got a lot of reviews from the women, my female friends, because they have said that they have never seen me doing a piece of artwork that was very feminine, that you could look at and see that whoever has been painting this is actually feminine. I think it is the competitiveness of the art world in our country that makes me now try to be more masculine in terms of my painting, in terms of my presentation, in terms of my color mixing, in terms of the way I handle paint. And I have a heavy hand. I've been told I'm the kind of person that can never be a, what do we call it, there's this art movement, the one for Akina Monet and Manet. It is called what is it called, impressionism. I'm not an impressionist. I've tried being an impressionist, but I could not do it. So I'm just a naturalist. I'm the kind of artist that wants to present something very realistically but not photographically. I'm like Leonardo da Vinci somehow. That is where I want to go. But I like painting things so that someone can know this is a painting, not photorealism or hyperrealism. But no offense to anyone who is doing photorealism or hyperrealism. Everyone should do their own thing. But basically that is my art journey. And one thing you should know, that Muslim women, we are allowed to do anything, we are allowed to be anything, provided you just follow the rules of the religion and the rules of God. And basically when you see someone taking it to the next level like that, it is because of the fact that some of us are more practicing and some of us are less practicing. So me personally, I'm practicing. That is why even my work in terms of art and in terms of what I do, and my 9 to 5 has to be halal. In terms of whatever earnings I have to get must be in line with whatever spirituality that I choose. And I choose to be like this because I was born like this. So that is why I got out of portraits and into still lifes and landscape. Maybe I like landscapes. I came to realize that whenever you look at a landscape, you just appreciate nature and you just appreciate God. So that is my art journey. But I'm still a part-time artist, but I'm hoping that it's going to change very soon, because these days I even paint at night. It is that serious. I just want to get back into art very seriously. So thank you again for watching my channel. I hope that you receive this video. That is my art journey. I hope that you receive this video positively, and I hope that you know that there are Muslim women who draw and paint and do and fly planes and do a lot of things. We are not that much, this word people trying to use, oppressed. We are not oppressed. We can do and we can achieve anything we want to achieve, as long as we just practice it and just become good at anything. We are allowed to do anything, provided that you follow in terms of your hijab, it has to be okay. You have to be on point in terms of your dress code, in terms of your education. You just have to be respectful in everything you do, but you can do any profession. You should see me climbing ladders and painting. I can do it, and a lot of people are doing it. So I hope that you will receive this in a positive manner. My next YouTube video will be on my sketchbook journey or my sketchbook tour or whatever it is. I'll show you some of the things I like drawing and painting for now. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. Assalamu alaikum.